Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now February 12th of 2022, and ever since the very end of the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 7, a lot of Star Wars fans have been very mixed on whether or not they can really consider this a great show, a terrible show, or just an okay TV series because of how inconsistent the overall chapters/episodes really were. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do make sure to post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really interact with you guys further. So, the thing about the Book of Boba Fett Chapter 7, like I say, I mean, it could have been so much more. It was directed by Robert Rodriguez, and keep in mind that he is executive producer, so he pulled some strings on the creative aspects of the episodes that he worked on, and it's exactly why, the Scooter Gang returned in the season finale. Now, of course, we talked about this in the last video if you guys want to go ahead and check it out. Ming-Na Wen had to take down a Twitter post talking about Season 1 of the Book of Boba Fett, kind of implying that there would be a Season 2, but fans kind of took that as the wrong thing, and she had to really make a statement to make things a little bit more clear that there is no Season 2 planned just yet. So, with that being said, however, what's even all the more intriguing has everything to do with Daisy Ridley. Now, Daisy Ridley has been a little bit more open to talking about her experience over at Lucasfilm and working on the sequel trilogy movies and really kind of being a little bit more expressive about her overall stance on the Star Wars universe, and we haven't heard from her in quite a number of weeks now. And one thing about Daisy Ridley is that she seems to be more honest lately because she's out of the sequel trilogy movies. She's no longer involved with the overall big budget Star Wars films. But one thing, of course, that, a lot of fans have always been very confused about is exactly what could have been for Episode 9 specifically. And we already know that there was a lot of things being worked on. So given that Star Wars Andor, as an example, is already planned to begin filming for its second season by this fall, along with The Mandalorian Season 3 to debut right around the same time, both Disney and Lucasfilm have been very busy with the future of Star Wars as a universe, and more to arrive as well. Now, further, it's described, however, that in a recent interview with actress Daisy Ridley, she was questioned about her time over at Lucasfilm and was questioned many things about Disney as a whole. Daisy Ridley went on to state that, one thing I have to say about Lucasfilm is that they can be very disorganized many times and it can get quite frustrating. I know I was when making the sequel movies. Believe it or not, I had trained for so many scenes that were supposed to be in Episode 9. I had all these crazy dark ray scenes. All these great scenes with Ian McDiarmid that went either unfinished or just deleted altogether. And it was very, very sad to be, of course, to say the least to me, because they were great scenes. I even had a ton of other sequences of myself with Adam on that world with the lightning. Of course, she's referring to the world of Exegol. So she goes on to state that, myself and Adam had such great dialogue to be exchanged as Rey and Ben Solo. Remember, Kathleen Kennedy wanted nothing to do with Ben Solo talking eventually. She really wanted to keep that character sealed up when it came to dialogue when we were working on, the 10th version of the ending to Skywalker. So let me just stop right there for a second. Now, the 10th version of the ending of The Rise of Skywalker. This falls directly in line with what Daisy Ridley talked about, I would say about maybe a year ago or so, of how they had so many different endings, so many different conclusions to the Skywalker saga because of how careful they were trying to be and how overly safe they were trying to be in the beginning with the very end of the sequel trilogy movies. Now, obviously the ending that we got was not the best, at least in my opinion. It could have been a lot better, and Daisy's going to get into that a little bit more in just a second. The ending to Episode 9 could have been so much more, obviously. We had, just Rey going up against Palpatine, where it could have very well been, something more extreme than that. So, on top of this, alright, she goes on to say that it was quite annoying, not just for myself, but also for the crew to see the changes back and forth with all of these different endings, and some characters getting less screen time or losing their dialogue altogether. Adam had such beautiful dialogue as Ben Solo. I really wanted to do, of course, more scenes with him, and the beautiful dialogue that he had that, of course, both men and women would have fallen in love with, and what JJ and Chris wanted to do. Many always put the blame on JJ and Chris on the deleted footage for characters like Palpatine and Ben Solo, but in the end, this came from Lucasfilm's creators and others like Kathleen Kennedy, and changing things around constantly. I will say that I loved working on the sequels, but Episode 9 was by far the most stressful and nerve-wracking Star Wars movie I worked on. Now, that's a very interesting thing that Daisy puts into perspective. It was the most stressful and nerve-wracking experience for her. And we've seen quite a number of other cast members talk about that. You know, Oscar Isaac mentioned that it was pretty much, you know, a very frightening experience working on the final film because they didn't know what to expect next. There was a lot of changes being made. The marketing wasn't really done all that well. They weren't quite sure if it was going to be successful, if this movie in and of itself was going to end their careers. I mean, they were scared. And if you look at where Oscar Isaac is going now, he's doing pretty good. Unfortunately, John Boyega, I really don't see him in all that much stuff lately. The same exact thing goes for Daisy Ridley. She's really not in anything massive or anything reoccurring, you know, where she's getting all these different jobs. You don't really see those two. You see more Oscar Isaac, and I think that he is going to be basically the Harrison Ford of the sequel trilogy, to tell you the truth, because let me tell you, I mean, Oscar Isaac being in Dune and how they are going to be doing a lot more movies of that and how they're going to really also branch out Oscar Isaac's career. He's got a lot of other movies, you know, in the lineup as we speak. So I think he's going to be successful. But Daisy Ridley goes on to state further that, of course, every day you would wake up in your trailer thinking, are my scenes going to be cut? Did I waste my time rehearsing? Are we going to be doing something different? I just felt out of place for this movie, and Lucasfilm was very well, to say the least, sloppy at handling principal photography. They just needed to be more organized, and I was extremely upset when I had so many action scenes with Adam. So much more. He was about the good guy this time around, and they had so much Palpatine footage to work with that they probably didn't even know what to do with it all. We had so many different endings, and I just feel that what the fans got in the final cut was, well, underwhelming. I mean, it's a good ending, but we had far greater ideas that would have really gone past expectations for those mega fans that have supported the franchise for many decades. And it's just unfortunate hearing this, the fact that we could have gotten so much more for The Rise of Skywalker. You know, the way that it ended seemed like they played it very, very safe. And I use the word safe because, let's face it, Bob Iger, the Disney CEO, was still in charge at the time. He was allowing Kathleen Kennedy to do as she pleased. Bob Iger even admitted that The Force Awakens was done by playing things safe. So it's not too far-fetched to say that Bob Iger did the same exact scenario with The Rise of Skywalker's ending. It was a very generic ending, in my opinion. They could have done a lot more. You know, they had a lot of other things planned, a lot of footage filmed, a lot of different deleted scenes that we will probably never see the light of day for a very long time. They are planning, however, we talked about this about a year ago. They are still planning a new cut of Episode 9 that's going to incorporate some of those deleted scenes, but not all. And that to me is still unfortunate because it would be nice to get all of the deleted footage, right? Just everything. And it most likely has something to do with the fact that they want to create this marketing plan that maybe in the years to come they're going to have different box sets that unveil different deleted scenes and stuff around those lines, creating an incentive for people to go out and buy new Blu-rays or whatever kind of multimedia is out there in the future. That is very well probably Lucasfilm's, you know, initiative right now. So overall, guys, you know, let me know what you think about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.